to the channel, everyone. As you can see, things today are going to be a little bit different. I put on a tie. Welcome, as a result of this, to Coach Coker's classroom. The irony of this is that I never wear ties when I teach. My students know this. But I thought doing something a little different, why not do a little something different to signify that? So the reason why I'm doing something different today is a little over a year ago when I started this channel, I promised that there would be some psychology content on here. So after 17 years of teaching, and quite a bit of that doing psychology, I know a thing or two. So with that being said, a couple things were brought to light this week, and I wanted to shed some light, no pun intended there, on an issue, a particular issue that's really, really big and prevalent in our world today. So again, welcome to my classroom. Welcome to what I'm going to call the Psych-Zone, when we'll get on this channel and talk about some psychological issues. So what I want to focus on and talk about for just a little bit today is mental health. And I'm not only going to focus just on mental health, but I'm going to talk about two main contributors to our mental health, or the mental health of people in the world today, and that would be anxiety and depression. But let me start by the overall topic of mental health, okay? Having good mental health is vital to having a good and happy life. If you are run down, if you are fatigued, which are major side effects of having poor mental health or dealing with the stresses of life, then it's going to affect not only yourself, your own health and well-being, it's going to affect your relationships with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, and it's going to affect, speaking of coworkers, it's going to affect your work. It really plays a major role in every single aspect of your life. And what the APA, the American Psychologists Association, and the WHO, the World Health Organization, have noticed is while mental health was a big issue pre-COVID, it's become an even bigger issue post-COVID, after everybody has had so long and spent so much time in isolation. The adjustment has been extremely difficult for a lot of people, not to mention you've had a lot of loss during these COVID years of close friends, family members, just folks that we all depended on. And COVID has completely changed this world. We are never going back to the pre-pandemic world. Okay, where we are now, sure, we're post-pandemic. We're still feeling some effects of it. What we knew before COVID is gone. We're never going to get that back. So now it's a matter of understanding and figuring out, okay, in a COVID world, how am I going to grasp these mental health issues and problems? So let me start with the biggest issue of them all, the highest numbered, and that is generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, G-A-D. Okay, there are more people diagnosed with GAD than any other mental health condition in the world today. The number is in the, I want to say it's in 64, 65 million adults are diagnosed with this. Obviously, it's a big factor in teenagers. Chad, while he's not diagnosed with it, Chad has some type of anxiety disorder himself. It is very, very, very prevalent today. And generalized anxiety disorder is the largest. And this is the one where you have anxiety, where you have the struggles, the worries, the problems with the day-to-day. Okay, we're not talking panic attacks. I'm not talking OCD, PTSD. I'm not talking phobias. Those are all different variations and types of anxiety disorders. GAD is simply the one where you just have anxiety. You've got worries over things in your daily life. Okay, it's a major problem, and as such, it's gotten and become an even bigger deal over the last few years, with more and more and more people dealing with GAD. Okay, aside from GAD, of course, the other huge mental health issue in the world today is depression. Okay, WHO, going back to that, the World Health Organization, I'm not going to call it the WHO, okay, but the World Health Organization says that on average about 7.6 million adult Americans go through at least one depressive episode a year. That's staggering. So the first thing I'd really like for anybody watching this to understand, depression is common. You are not alone if you're fighting and dealing with depression. It is perfectly okay. Okay? It's a saying that we've heard at our school for several years now. Some students had a campaign about it, became a big deal, but it's 100% true. It is okay to not be okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be okay 100% of the time. Society does not demand that of any of us. What you see on TV, in movies, and worse, what you see on social media is what everyone wants you to see. That's not the whole story. No one is perfect. Not a single one of us. We are all human. We're all going to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. You have to pick yourself back up. Some mistakes, some issues, some problems are going to be harder to get back up from than others. Not everything in this world you're going to be able to get through on your own. That is a big part of this, that whoever's watching this, I hope you understand that. If you are trying to deal with something by yourself, it is going to be 10, 15, 20 times harder. And you may not be able to get through it. The best thing that any of us can do, if we're feeling symptoms of what we may think is anxiety or what we think is depression or any other major mental illness, the number one thing that you can do is talk to somebody about it. We weren't made to do life alone. We were made to be a community, to depend on each other, to lift each other up when we're down. A lot of folks that are hearing this, you may be an introvert. You may not enjoy talking to people, okay? Or you could be an extrovert and you're just used to keeping things to yourself. When I'm upset, when I'm angry, not just sad, but angry, I tend to keep it in. I don't show it. It just builds and it builds and it builds, making me worse and worse and worse as it goes on. It's not great. It's not healthy. When we're dealing with stuff, we're made to talk about it. It helps us. It relieves stress when we talk about it, because stress is another big factor when it comes to our overall mental health and well-being. Stress can lead to depression. Okay, and depression and anxiety when they are severe, when they are prolonged, if they're not regulated, they can lead to further issues. They can lead to heart problems. They can lead to obesity. Okay, they can lead to major issues with your body physically. We have this psychosomatic connection between our mind and our body. They are connected. Okay, so when this is wrong, or when this is hurting, it can cause the rest of you to hurt. It's just the way our body works. If you have what I call stinking thinking about an illness, a disease that you're fighting, you can actually prolong that by making yourself think that you're feeling worse than you are. It can happen. I've seen it happen. Okay, it's super common. With that, sometimes talking to somebody isn't enough. Sometimes you have to do more. Sometimes cases of depression, cases of anxiety are gonna need to be medicated. There's nothing wrong with that. Antidepressants, they do work. SSRIs, they do help. Okay? If you're talking to someone, especially if it's a medical professional, and they think that you need that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting that type of assistance. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm perfect and I've never dealt with this. I'm not a very anxious person. I can't say that I've fallen into that category. But I am on antidepressants. I have been for several years. COVID hit me hard, but I was struggling before COVID. I'm not perfect. You know, these videos that we put on the channel, we do hope that they uplift your spirits. That's the purpose. That's the why behind what we do. You know, we're here to have fun. We're here to show you some awesome things that hopefully bring you some entertainment and joy. This video may not bring that, but hopefully this video will bring you some answers, because that's what I wanted to do today with the Psych-Zone. I wanted to give you some answers for those of you that may need that help. If you've got nobody else to talk to, reach out to me. I love talking to people. Hit me up in the comments. Find us on one of our other various forms of social media. I'll be happy to talk with you, or I can point you in the direction of somebody better suited than me. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. But that's the first step. Talking to someone, not keeping it to yourself. I do have another episode of the Psych-Zone lined up. Don't know when it'll come out, but it's kind of a passion project, something I've been working on for a little bit. But it'll be coming out soon. I felt like I wanted to talk about this now and make this the first topic because of how broad it is. But two of our favorite creators, who I'm not going to name drop here, but two of the people that Jess and I watch the most just within the past week in videos and on social media, were both talking about their own states of mental health and trying. I apologize for them. Guys, hey, cut it out. But because of that, the fact that two of them within a week span were dealing with this, I felt like this was a much bigger topic, and I wanted to get this out there for them and for anybody else that may be dealing with it. So please know, if you need somebody to talk to, or if you're going through this, okay, you have a friend in Coach Coker, you have a friend in Coker culture as a whole. You're awesome. The world is a better place because you are in it. And you're special, and you're wonderfully made. That's going to wrap it up for the Psych-Zone. If you enjoyed this content, please be sure to hit that like button down below, as it does go a long way to help the channel and help me figure out what you guys enjoy watching. Feel free to leave comments, questions, whatever you'd like. I'm open to answering, and I'm open and happy to talk to you, and I mean you. Okay, so if you enjoyed this content and everything else we bring you on this channel, which is quite a variety, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below as we're trying to build towards our 500 viewers. I love and appreciate every single one of you that watch this and that watch all of our videos and have supported our channel thus far. Until next time, what's your why?